Okay, so a word about notation. Where did I do? So I did it here. So a matrix, I'm going to use a capital letter. Usually start with A. A vector, I'll use a lowercase letter with a arrow on top. If I want to talk about just a real number, it'll be, like Y with no arrow on top. Okay, so let's look at another example. Write the system where was I? X1 plus 2x2 minus x3 equals equals 4. So write this system as a vector equation, and then B matrix equation. And what we mean is in this form, AX equals B. Okay, so we'll do that. Take this item and start by forming a vector equation. So we'll have a two-dimensional vector which contains the x's, which is going to equal another two-dimensional vector, which is the right-hand sides of the equations. Then I have minus 5x2 plus 3x3. Okay, now I can decompose my left-hand side to get a vector, 3 vectors. And I'll leave the right-hand side alone. Okay, now I'll factor out the common multiple. X2, 2, -5. And then x3, -1, 3, equal to 4, 1. And there we have my vector equation. Part B, we are going to do something very fancy. We're going to take this item here, and we're going to say, that looks like, what does it look like? It looks like, doesn't it look like this guy here? And then I can go from this step to this step. I can go backwards in a sense. So down below, can't see it now, I have something that looks like this. And I'm going to work backwards and get my matrix vector product. So that's what I'll do. So this is the first column of the matrix, second column of the matrix, third column of the matrix. So I just go ahead and write that down. And 1, 3. And then this is the first entry in the vector, second entry in the vector, third entry in the vector. And it still equals 4, 1. Okay, so what does this tell us? It tells us that when you have a system, a linear system, okay, you can think of it as a vector equation. And you can also think of it as a matrix equation. And there's another way to look at it where we've seen already, where you take A, this is A, this is B, and you do an augmented matrix where you put A, you put B beside it. Or in this case, you have, this matrix 1, 2, -1, 0, -5, 3, and you augment it with the 4, 1 right there. Yeah, it's yet another way to think about the system. We use this one the most because we can row reduce that matrix. Also. Okay, let's try an exercise now. So I want you to write this. I'm going to have you write it 4 different ways. 0, 4. How about as a vector equation, B matrix equation, and finally augmented matrix. Okay, so pause the video, try that, and then in the next video, you know what, I'll just do it. I'll just do the solution. Not the solution, I'll do the answers. So write down the answers now. So the answers are A. Max 1, 1 minus 1. Max 2, 3 minus 2. Okay, pause the video and try this if you haven't done so already. Here's my vector equation. The matrix equation is the matrix 1, -1. 3 minus 2 times the vector x1, x2 equals 0, 4. And finally C, we have 1, -1, 3 minus 2 augmented with 0, 4. Et voilà.